Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. First things first, if you would be as kind as to give me a like and a subscribe, I would really appreciate it. And whilst you're there, let me know how you are feeling out of 10. For me this week, I'm going to say I'm like a 7.5, 8. I'm neither here nor there, neither good nor bad. Lows of the week, well, there is kind of two. One, I've started on this stack of straw, and it's not really a mega low. Neither of them are, to be honest. Yeah, I was kind of hoping that I'd get to keep that for next year, but we've started on it. Bales have kept really well though. Look how good they are. I mean, obviously these ones on the outside are a little bit discoloured, but the ones at the top where I've just took some off, they're really, really good. And people always say to me, oh, how do your bales keep? Because you have so many bales outside. For me, the key is having a decent round baler and just getting plenty of straw in there and keeping the bales pretty hard, because then you don't get the water infiltrating and they stay as good as that. The second low is that we've booked Hornblower here in for his second semen test. Those of you who watched the video a couple of weeks ago will know that he didn't give us a good sample. Now, he didn't give us a bad sample. It wasn't that he gave us a sample that was like they didn't swim right or there was no live semen in there or anything like that. But he just didn't give us a good sample. Sometimes they call it rusty load or whatever because he's not worked for ages and, they all like die or whatever. So he's booked in for his second semen test next Tuesday. So kind of hoping that he passes. Just for me, really. He's like 10 years old now, 11 years old. If you ask somebody to give you a bull that was like so reliable, always got cows in calf, got you out of sticky situations when other bulls didn't work, just looked after himself, whatever else, gave you really good calves that to finish well and whatever, they'd just give you Hornblower, and the thought of losing him is quite hard. I think if he does have to go, I'm probably going to cry that day. Highs of the week, well, there's quite a few actually, because we've had some rain. You can see, look, some moisture on the floor, unbelievable. It's a lovely day today. A bit more rain forecast for tomorrow, I believe. But that's nice, just get the grass growing. I measured the grass yesterday and there was quite a good growth over the last week. And part of that is because after the TB test last week, we actually moved loads of cows over to Thornton. So on Thursday, after we'd done the reading, we did one load with the big trailer and one load with the Ivor Williams over to Thornton. And then on Friday, we did 4 loads with the big trailer and 4 loads with the Ivor Williams over there. So there's loads of cows over there now. It's relieved loads of pressure off the grass. Oh, and flock down has ended. I don't know if you can see through the gate, the chickens are out. The chickens are back out. No more bird flu. Well, it's not no more bird flu. There's still bird flu, but we can have chickens out. And I tell you what, they are so much happier outside. So yeah, pretty good highs, really. So in this video, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the stabilizers, because somebody messaged me on Instagram asking me, what I thought to them, how I got on with them. Obviously, we bought some back sort of just after Christmas, and they wanted to know, really, they wanted a review. They were interested in the breed, and they just wanted to know how we got on and my honest opinion of them. Now, when I went to message this guy back, the message had been deleted. I don't know where it's gone, so I haven't messaged you back. If you're watching this, message me. I'm happy to talk to you about them. Love talking about cows anyway. So yeah, drop me a message, or if not, hopefully this video will answer all your questions. So for those of you who are unaware, this is how it started. We bought some in-calf heifers from a farmer called Tim Phipps down near Daventry, a Stabiliser multiplier farm, and now this is how it's going. We've calved all of them bar one, which is still left to calve. It's in the calving field, and they're just here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain to you why we chose them and give you an honest review of how we've got on with calving them, etc. And then I'm going to try and do some pros and cons about why you might or might not want to look at stabilizers for your own herd. So we bought the stabilizers in an attempt to try a new breed, really. We're trying to move away from our Blue Cross cows because we'd lost our replacement heifers and our supply of those. And we wanted something different, wanted something new, and the stabilizers were a good fit, really. They had a lot of data backing them up, and I thought, we looked at other breeds, we looked at a few different things, and it just seemed like the smartest thing to do was to try these first, because on paper, they seem to fit the bill perfectly. Now, what we're looking for when we're looking for a cow personally is we want something that's going to be easy calving. We want something that's going to mother its calves well. We want the calves to grow well because we want quality beef animals. And we just want something that's going to look after itself. It's going to work well on rotations like this, when we're going to have them fenced off and give them a day's worth of grass and move them every day. We just want something that's going to be an all-round suckler cow And that's sort of why these guys fit the bill, because that's really what they are. They are a four-way cross way back when they first started, but it has now progressed sort of probably 35, 40 years on to being what they are now. So let's talk about how we got on calving them. So these were all in a shed on their own, and they were all in calf to two different bulls, one called Union and one called Uzi. And the Union bull was giving slightly larger calves than the Uzi bull. Union's calves, when we weighed all of these when they were born, were all about sort of 36 to 38 kilos, something around there. And Uzi's smallest calf was around 32, so slightly smaller, but it was also a heifer, so potentially going to be a little bit smaller. Anyway, but we got on really well with calving these. Absolutely loved them. If you took 10 heifers from our blues and then took 10 Stabiliser heifers, I would say that we would probably turn our hand to helping with the calving jack our blue heifers maybe 1 or 2 out of 10. We didn't really have to help any of these. We helped one, and we didn't really have to do it. We just did it because it was getting like 6, 7 o'clock at night. We wanted to go home, and we just wanted to make sure that it was all good when we left it. But to be honest, we could have pulled it out by hand. It would have calved itself anyway, regardless. So from that point of view, they were really easy calving, and for heifers, they were an absolute dream. Now, part of that is because they are made to be good calvers. That's kind of why they've been bred. Also because their bulls are easy calving as well. So we knew that the bulls that had been put onto these heifers were going to give us some good easy calving calves, because they use EBVs, which is something that I really like, because we've used EBVs for years. So it's nice to go to a breed that still uses them. They actually mothered their calves incredibly well. Now, one thing we find with the blues, especially if you've had to help them, they don't tend to take to the calf straight away. It takes a little bit of time, and you do have to put them in the maternity unit, as we've shown before, and just suckle them and make sure that they sort of take to them, and eventually they will. We never have a trouble with them abandoning calves or anything like that. But these guys, as soon as the calf came out, it was like up, mothering it, licking it, letting it suck. It was amazing. I actually did a video, if you follow me on Instagram, I did a little reel video, because I can't remember which one it was. I think it could have been this one, actually. No, it wasn't. It was that one there that's sucking just there in the background. That one, when it was giving birth, I was putting the loader on outside the shed, noticed that its feet were just about on show. By the time I put the loader on and gone round to actually check on the cow, it had pretty much given birth in 9 minutes. Just to put into perspective how quick 9 minutes is as well, when I speak to the vets, they say that you want to start helping things if they've been knocking around for 2 hours. So 9 minutes is really quick. Now, one of the traits that we kind of were told by the Stabilisers, and I can now verify, is that the calves grow really well. The whole point of them is that they're small when they come out, but they have really good growth rates, and they are, as you can see, looking really well. They're growing like weeds, to be honest. They just really are going for it. They're probably not quite as big as some of our Charolais crosses, but then the Charolais crosses were a lot bigger when they were born, so you know, it's a bit swings and roundabouts. But I know that these guys will catch up, because I'm sure that they're probably growing per day more than our Charolais crosses are. So let's go on to the pros. Why would you want to buy Stabilisers? Well, for me, part of it was data driven. These have been bred purely on data, and I love data. It doesn't matter whether it's like when I'm training, I love data. When I'm running, I love data. When I'm cycling, I love data. When I'm swimming, and I love data when I've got something to do with cows. You just can't beat it. If you use it, it is one of the most useful tools you have to hand. And these have completely been bred on their data, and everything that the Stabiliser company do is data driven. And I think that is such a positive, because they're not trying to achieve anything based upon something like, oh, that's what the breed should look like in 1900, or that's what, you know, it should be doing traditionally. Like, it doesn't matter. The whole point is that they do what they're supposed to do. Easy calving. The cows are meant to be easy calving, and the bulls are all meant to be easy calving. So you get easy calving cows and easy calving bulls. So when you put them together, what could go wrong? I mean, there's always going to be, no matter what cows you have, there's always going to be discrepancies. There's always going to be cows that need calving and potentially need cesareans. But from what I've seen of these, they've been spot on. They are super docile. So there's not many breeds where I could get this close to the calves and they just let you. They're not bothered at all. So that's a really nice positive as well, because you don't want to have cows and don't want to be working with cows that are dangerous and nasty. Fertility. Now, fertility is really important. Obviously, you need to be getting your cows in calf straight away. And I can't speak to it personally because we haven't had to get these in calf yet. But I'll definitely keep you up to date with how all of that goes on. However, what I can say is where we bought these from, the farmer there, Tim, he actually calves about 160 cows in an 8-week window, which is really impressive. When I spoke to Tim a few weeks ago, he'd been calving, I think, for about 4 to 5 weeks. He'd only got 20 left. So I think that speaks for itself. Feed efficiency. The whole point, one of the things that stabilizers really take into consideration is their feed efficiency. They do a lot of feed efficiency work, and I think they have a feed efficiency farm somewhere where they do a lot of kind of testing and whatever else and feed certain things to certain animals and see how feed efficient they are. If they do, Seth, I want to go there because that sounds really interesting to me. Obviously with the calves, they're going to grow better and be more profitable, and with the cows you can have higher stocking densities because they're not going to have to eat so much grass. So therefore you can carry more cows per acre or per hectare, or however you want to measure it, and therefore more profitability on your land, which we're all after that, aren't we? Colour. You can get them in red and black. Now, I've gone for red because I think red cows look nice. They just look lovely in the field, don't they? Red cows. Can't complain. I think that's one of the reasons why people like limousines, because there's not many other reasons why you would want to like limousines. They're nasty and they just pain in the ass to work with. And yeah, it can be a nightmare to calve. But they look nice. So red cows, you can get them in black as well. I know there's some people go for black ones and some people have both, but I'm going to stay with the reds because they're pretty and they're the same colour as my dog. So let's talk some cons. Why wouldn't you want to buy them? Well, some people don't like them because they're small, but I like small cows. I've said this a million times on this channel. Small cows are the future. They eat less grass. They are more profitable in the long run. They last longer. You get less trouble with them. I think they're better. But some people like to have 900 kilo cows. And if that's what you want, go for it. But you won't want stabilizers because they don't do 900 kilo cows. Something else you may not like is these calves won't hit like an E grade when it comes to the slaughter grades. If you don't know anything about the Europe scheme that we use in the UK, then I'll try and find it and put it on the screen now. But they're not meant to be hitting those massive E-grade cattle. What you get when you get an E-grade cows, you'll get something that's really muscly, got a massive back end and really broad across its back and just stocky and hench. But these won't be like that. They'll be stocky, they'll be great cattle, but they're gonna hit spec, and that's what they're designed to do. You're not gonna be hitting E-grade and getting that premium, but realistically, in my opinion, I don't like cattle that hit E-grades, because what you tend to find with the young stock that hit E-grades is you're going to have animals like a Parthenase or a Limousines and things like that, where you get these huge back ends and then you just get calving issues. And if you have calving issues, that affects your cows, that affects the longevity of your cattle, and you spend all of that extra money you get from having E-grade cattle at the vets. So what's the verdict? Do I like them? I love them. I think they're brilliant. Like, I cannot wait to start and have more of these cattle around and try and use them more and start and breed our own replacements. I'm really excited for it. I think that the stabilizer cows are the future. Now, that's not me taking away from any other cows. If you want to run a different breed, if you're into your rare breeds, if you're into a certain thing or pedigree, go for it. You do what you want to do. But for me, as a commercial suckler farmer, I think that these stabilizers are just going to be the way forward for us. Now that is it for another video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please give me a like and a subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Remember to let me know how you are feeling out of 10 as well. It proves to be a lovely weekend again this weekend. I think we're going to be having some nice weather, so why not get outside, get yourself in the barbecues, get a few beers down here and have a great one. See you all soon. Bye.